Hello, welcome to the next edition of Jank. And today we're playing an archetype that's not really in Pioneer right now, but we're gonna see if we can't make it a archetype, period. And that is Reanimator. Now, this is a fan favorite most of the time. It's a solid deck in Legacy and Modern. Pioneer doesn't really have that, and let's see if we can't make it work now that we have Atroxa. We have Fable the Mirror Breaker. I did have to trim one copy of Fable the Mirror Breaker in the actual gameplay, just because of the fact that Atroxa is like 200 something ticks and Fable the Mirror Breaker is like another 100, like 200 something ticks. So like together they just eat up my entire budget. So, and we have Leyline Binding, so we're kind of like a 5-color domain deck, and we'll see if we can't get this to work out. We have a very diverse set types, so that way we can maybe maximize Atroxa more. And so if you guys like this kind of content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you like, and let's get into it. So we have 3 Planeswalkers, 1 Professor Onyx, 2 Lilianas, which can return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. So she has a reanimation spell and a Planeswalker together. We have Aid just because it can hit Liliana's and it can hit Fable the Mirror Breaker or Leyline Binding in adjacent to Atroxa, and Jank and Taxus as well as our top end. I did up 1 charm. Normally I would recommend only playing 3. We're gonna see if it's good, but I had to up it to 4 because of Fable and the Mirror Breaker. So these 2 got switched. And we have a Faithful Mending as our choice for discard to Atroxa, so we could reanimate. Sideboard wise, we have 3 Leyline in the Voids because we don't want to exile our own graveyard. We have 2 Extinction Events for sweepers. Go Blink to also make hurt control as well as exile their graveyard. Negate for control. Thoughtseize for control. Fatal Push for very low to the ground aggro decks. And 2 Thirst as well because it's more diverse in what it can hit, right? Fatal Push can't really Sprock Revolt, so most of the time I think paying the 4 kicker is much easier. Let's see how this deck plays out. Let's get into some games. Proving Ground, you. Lair of the Hydra. Help passes. Catacombs. We will attempt to play a Wayfinder. Try to dig for a land. Black. Green. I think we go with Jetmir's Garden. Yeah, because green and white are lower on our amount. Next turn we can strategic planning. Play a garden. Land War Waste. War Master. Elvish Mystic. Exodork. Passes. That's pretty good to loot. So we play garden. Strategic planning, Steam Vents, because that's an untapped land. It's also blue. Pass the turn. Visionary makes a dork. This might be a very difficult matchup, just being honest. I mean, we can maybe get this down. He attacks with everything. We go ahead and kill an elf. I think I Glacial Fortress. Strategic planning. I think I need to tap this one because it doesn't tap any for the mending. So we take, I think, Maestro's Charm, and then we have a blue white. We could loot away some stuff. Pass the turn. We're 2 turns away from Onyx, which I guess is not really helpful. We might be dead this turn. That doesn't mean we're dead. He has 2 mana left over. He doesn't utilize it. Faithful Mending. Pitch Atroxa. And pitch Headquarters. He goes to combat. Smacks us. Down to 10. Untap. Proving Grounds. That's not going to help. We need we need something better than this. So 3, that's not enough. We have 2 mana left over. We can't really reanimate with that. So if I shoot down this, does that really help me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's not enough to do anything. So we just scoop it up. Well, Elves. Definitely Extinction Event in. Professor Onyx out. Jank and Taxus out. Actually, wait a minute. We want this package brought in. What can we go down? Probably the charm? It's just too slow for interaction. Yeah, I think cut Agent can Taxus. Because it doesn't necessarily do a lot. Not like that. Play Raffine's Tower. Go. Blooming Marsh. That's Jesper Sentinel. Xander's Lounge. Go. War Master. Gets Frisky. Down to 19. Steam Vents. So I have every color but green, I think. So I think I just play a tap Temple. Ship the turn. See what he tries to cast on his turn. Whatever, I will try to eat whatever is the least number. Nixos. So another even. Okay. So even. So I might bind. Should I binding this Sentinel? I don't think so. I think I'd save it for post Wrath. Another Sentinel. Or binding. We'll play Forest, Event, even, pass the turn. Overgrown Tomb, untapped, hits me. Sure. Down to 13. That's gonna be pretty good later. We'll just play a Steam Vents tapped, pass. It's probably gonna Coco. So he Cocos. Gets a Mistcaller and an Elite. The non-token creature would enter the battlefield and wasn't cast, exile it. Seems very interesting. I guess that's his answer to reanimation. All right. We'll calculate what we could do here. Leyline binding. Eat the Elite. We got another subscriber. Sweet. So that resolves, right? So I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know what? No, we're gonna binding the elf token and save 2 life. All right, so he smacks this to 8. We get to event on odd. Eat the board. Pass the turn. Faithful Mending is not a bad draw, right? Because it does let us gain some life. This layer is gonna probably start hitting us for 3. He just passes. Well, that would be useful if we had something. So I think we just pass. We do get couple looks, right? So we could double do this turn, can't we? Maybe. I don't know. So this is the colorless mana for the flashback. This is blue, white. This is blue, this is white. Okay, so we can do it twice. Hopefully we can find a big threat. That's our goal. He is rebuilding a board, which is quite scary. Mending. I think I pitched both of these. Mending, right? Those are gone. That stinks. Smacks us for 4 to 8. Passes. I don't think there's a way out from here. Accord, X3. Hits us to... Alright, yeah. That beats us. He needs to put the Shaman of the Pact on the stack first, so that way it resolves last. Yeah. Sure. 0-1, that's just a horrible matchup. Let's get into the next. Fire Bluff Canal. Passes. Watery Grave. We play Red Fiend's Tower. Go. Reef. Sure. Passes. Binding. That's going to be useful later. Fortress. Pass the turn. Mending. Cataxis. Aid. Pass the turn. I'm assuming this has to be creativity, which I think binding might be useful. Passes. After playing a Mutavault. That kind of stinks. I was hoping that would be... I mean, I guess I could always mending it. Strategic planning. Spell Pierce. Seems fine. Pass the turn. Plays a Canal. Passes. Mending. Played Tomb. Tapped. Pass the turn. Fable the Mirror Breaker. That's fine. I think we're going to have to go for it this turn. I don't know if I don't think he has another Spell Pierce. To be mana efficient, I think we flash it back. Pitch Mending. Jetmir's Garden. Oh my god, I didn't get rid of the Atraxa, which is the main point. Oh my god, that's good. That's awesome. Watery Grave. Untapped. Play Satyr Wayfinder. I will take Hollow Fountain. Pass the turn. Yeah, that might have been a huge misplay right there. Sure, he gets to loot away a couple cards, potentially. Getting rid of a dig seems weird to me, but goes to combat. Smacks face. Take it. Faithful Mending. Maestro's Charm. Another land. So I think Rootbound Crag. I want to keep a white source up. We will attempt to aid. Okay, we figured a counter was coming, so that's why we used that first. Secret to the Key. That's fine. I'm just waiting for you to drop down a worm. Flips over this Fable the Mirror Breaker. That's fine. We will let him go to combat, target the worm before we make a decision. It'd probably be smarter actually for him to target the reflection, but land binding, eat the worm. Yeah, that's why you should probably target the reflection. You could have made a copy of the worm, which would have been better against leyline binding. Take it. So if he has to make disappear, right? He's just gonna sack a goblin token. So there's no point of paying the 2 life here. Liliana. Alright, resolves. Get back. Atraxa. Go digging. Definitely binding. Our only creature is Satyr Wayfinder. I think I want a charm because it's removal. And we could pick up a Proving Ground because it cycles. He's Concede. So against this matchup, Thoughtseize in, Negate in, probably Charm out, maybe Go Blink in, cut Onyx and a Djinn, run it like that. Gives up the match. 1-1. Let's get to the next. Lounge. Yeah. Parry Stream. So this is probably Control. Play Triumph tapped. Go. So hopefully Fable and the Mirror Breaker helps this hand progress. It actually might help us get into a turn for Atraxa, depending on if he has counter magic. There's the green source, so that's good. Fable and the Mirror Breaker. Probably pitch a Hollow Fountain Atraxa. Now that I have a green source, this Wayfinder might be useful. Now I am kind of worried about the curve on this thing. I mean, we have a lot of upper drops. Thankfully, Control was the matchup where I care least about this. Castle passes. So we say yes. Pitch Atraxa, Hollow Fountain. Go to combat. Hollow Fountain, untapped. White, whatever. Attempt to get back Atraxa. Should eat a counter. Like a Zorb, maybe? I mean, turn 4, this is decent for, this type of strategy. In Pioneer, where there's not a lot of good Reanimator cards. 5 manas are normal. Field of Ruin. I dare you to tap down and shoot me. Okay. Flip Fable. Satyr Wayfinder. Oh crap, we got the one of basic. That's ironic. Strategic planning. Take an aid. Play a tap land. Pass the turn. Definitely should have used a field. It doesn't matter which one you would have hit. Island. Passes. Forest. Alright, let's go ahead and try to bait something here. If I could eat second main, get him back, that would be ideal. Satyr. That kind of stinks. I would have kind of liked that Professor Onyx. Pass the turn. Wandering Emperor might be inbound. Memory Deluge. He untaps. He just passing. Faithful Mending. Pitch Stomping Grounds. Charm. The untap. Go to combat. Smack you with everything. I think I just pass. Field of Ruins. Be Mending. Pitch. Proving Grounds. Planning. Alright, pops my tower. Shuffle. We have one Atraxa in there. We will continue to be down for 4 until he dies. Until they die. Because you can't really afford to tap out, right? Supreme Verdict. Okay. You have a land with Dovin's Veto, I guess? Field of Ruin. That means Dovin's Veto is not an option. Attempt to get back Atraxa. You got Spell Pierce. Or a Censor. We can pay for a Censor. Alright, that resolves. We definitely grab Fable. Another aid. Grab Tower, because it's cycle. Djinn Taxis. And a Charm. Play a tap land. Go. Plays another Plains. Can you answer Atraxa? I definitely mistapped, right? I should have not tapped Triumph. I should have tapped a Lounge. Against Control. We got to go blank. We got Thoughtseize. And we got Negate. Charm is arguably worse. This still answers Planeswalkers. This is a dense amount of threat. Top end. Satyr Wayfinder is okay. It does allow us to get our lands, so that's kind of relevant. Maybe a Mending, a Planning, run it like that. Overgrown Tomb. Untapped. Thoughtseize. Take Absorb. Shift the turn. For some reason, I'm on the play. I would have thought I would have been on the draw because I won the game, but sure. Play Gardens. Play Thoughtseize. Take Narset past the turn. He does have a lot of sharks and a Memory Deluge. We do actively need to find lands. That is like the most important piece. We find something we can't cast. We just need a blue source. This might hurt. Field of Ruin. Which might be worth it, honestly. Means I get a forest, but I don't have black mana. Alright, that's okay for the future. Looks like he's gonna field me. Alright, yeah, that's even better. Taking my garden. Ouch. Plays farmland. Passes. Oh my god, we're just not finding lands. Pass the turn. Cycles a shark for a 1/1. Hits me. Down to 13. Alright, deck, you gotta do something here. Stomping Grounds. We play Stomping Grounds. Go blank. Test of Talents, that's fine. But now he sees how bad our hand is. We can't fool him anymore. If we don't draw something like soon, or just scoop it up, I mean, there's no point in getting beaten down by a shark for turns. Satyr Wayfinder is not a bad top deck. It's probably should eat a counter spell just because it's so relevant. It resolves. Kind of weird. Take Steam Vents. Play Steam Vents tapped. Go. Once we get a white source, we're in the money. Make another shark? Sure. 2/2 this time. Still doesn't explain why he didn't attack last turn. Seems like a easy swing. Prairie Stream tapped. And now he decides to attack me. Down to 8. Deck, come on, give me a white source, please. Atroxa, it has white mana in his mana cost. Attack you with a Wayfinder? Gonna make a shark? Nope, doesn't even bother. Pretty sure he still has one more shark. Yeah, I just don't think this is worth my time right now. Yeah, so on the draw this time, I think we want more setup. A little bit more prepared for the aid, I think. And I think planning is easier to cast, so we'll run it like that. Play Raffine's Tower, go. I hope this hand does not have the same problem as last time. That would be bad. Plays a tapped Hollow Fountain. That's a land, that's great. So, Catacomb. See what we have in hand. Lockdown is useless, Absorb. I guess I just take the Absorb and Test of Talents. Pass the turn. So this answers Wandering Emperor. That's what I'm hoping for. Lockdown I just don't care about. I don't really run that many permanents that are less than 2 MV and lower. So that's like not even a card. Play Headquarters. Yeah. Castle. Narset. Minuses Narset. Gets a Dovin's Veto. Passes. Play Leyline Binding. Eat the Narset. Faithful Mending. Pitch both Planning and Tomb. Pass the turn. So we know he has a Dovin's Veto. And he still has Temporary Lockdown and a Supreme Verdict. And a Wandering Emperor. So there's like 2 cards we don't know about. Hollowed Fountain. Untapped. Passes. Proving Ground. Yeah. Nothing on my end step. Interesting move. So he does nothing on his turn. We Mending. Pitch both of those. We're back at 20. Draw a forest, which is kind of sad. Play the forest. Pass the turn. Maybe I should have honestly just pitched this aid, because I'm getting to the point of the game where I could just hardcast my big fatties. Alright, he just passes. Professor Onyx, he probably eats a Dovin's Veto. Absorb. Attempt to get back Onyx. Here comes the Veto. Another Absorb. That's fine. Passes. Stomping Grounds tapped. We have 7 mana, so now any lands we draw, we just keep. Oh, he drew a Plains. Passes. Alright, that's fine. We go ahead and pass the turn. The odds of us drawing a sorcery speed stuff here is pretty unlikely. So he's probably going to start using this castle. Makes perfect sense. He doesn't even use it. I'm not sure what he's up to. Cycle. Satyr Wayfinder. Mending. Play Mending. Pitch 2 Wayfinders. Pass the turn. Wandering Emperor. That comes down. Binding. Makes a Samurai. That's fine. Do you have a Pelpiers? Eat the Emperor. Pass the turn. Shocks himself. He's 1 mana away from Hall. Farewell on enchantments. That seems very ballsy. You should have done graveyards too while you're at it. Alright? I mean, you're really risking it for that 1 chance of eating my bindings. My white, blue, Mending. Ouch. We just did not find anything. We have used 3 absorbs. So he's unlikely probably to have a counter for a creature if we ever top deck it. Another Wandering Emperor. Sorcery speed. Is your goal just to put a counter on this? Sure, you got me. He has 2 mana up, which means he has a veto. Hits me. Please give me a creature off the top. Big fat creature. Mending. Dovin's Veto. Mending. Get rid of 2 land. Pass the turn. We will find a good card eventually. Yeah, I mean, so far we've only found Professor Onyx. Hits us for 4. Seems fine. Atroxa. You have Absorb. Resolves. That's really good. Take another Atroxa. Fable. Actually, I'm going to take Atroxa. Liliana. Aid. Actually, I'm going to pick Jen, right? Because aid helps me get Batroxa in the yard. And then we'll just take, I guess, a lounge. Fill my hand up with goodies. Play a tap land, pass the turn. Desperately scries. He only has 4 minutes on the clock. I could aid or Liliana plus Fable, both of which gets me Atroxa back, and he'll probably counter the Fable, or probably counter whatever we don't. The non-Fable. Probably counter the non-Fable, and we get Fable. He's really thinking this one through. His best bet, I guess, is just turn on the Hall. Smack face with the Hall. Yeah. Put the counter on it. Seems good. We will definitely block there. That just cancels it out. So, black, whatever, whatever. Go blank. Go to combat. Hit Wandering Emperor. I should have probably done go blank second main. And we will just play a innocent aid for Professor Onyx, just because. I mean, Supreme Verdict, got it. Technically 2-1 so far. Let's get into the next. Hall of Fountain, tap, passes, Triumph, go, Plains, Sacred Foundry, Overgrown Tomb, untapped, Satyr Wayfinder, whiff, pass the turn, makes a shot, cycles, Hollow Fountain. I think a Sacred Foundry, untapped, Fable in the Mirror Breaker, smack you, pass the turn. Beach passes. Olive Fountain tapped. Go to combat. Smack you with a Wayfinder. Beach passes. White, blue. Mending. Tomb or Blood Crypt Garden. Untap. Tower. Strategic planning. Take a Mending. Pass the turn. I don't think I go for the attack. He probably has a Wandering Emperor. Teferi upticks. Binding. Alright, so he untaps too. So you could have a Dovin's Veto. It's duly noted. Mending. Mending. Jet Mirrors. Play Proving Ground. Smack face, because if Sorcery Speed, Emperor's not as dangerous. Plays a tap land. We untap. Strategic Planning. Take Binding. Pass the turn. March. That resolves. Binding. Pass the turn. Plays a tap land. Zerda in hand. I guess controls a different animal these days. Mending. Pitch 2 lands. Atroxa. Go to combat. Hit you. Pass the turn. Zerda. Mending. Pitch Atroxa and planning. Mending. Planning Charm. Play a tap land. Aid targeting Atroxa. Absorb. That's a good sign. A Dovin's Veto is probably not present. We could bait the... I don't really care about Dovin's Veto because we're just going to hardcast this Atroxa. Attacks. Take it. Atroxa. Makes a shark. Trying to find a Absorb. Find another Atroxa. Fable. A Binding. No, I can't take Binding. Take Watery Grave. Charm. Play a tap Watery Grave. Pass the turn. Okay, gets to Fairy. Now he gets to tuck my Atroxa. Which I guess does nothing, right? Because if we just hardcast another one, it just finds the one he tucked. Plays a castle, which is quite useful. Soul Partition. Smacks out. We just go ahead and chomp because there's no point in keeping him around. Makes a dork. Gets to untap 2 lands. Play Craig. I think it's better to aid. So then I get to charm away the Fairy. Take Jank and Taxes, Liliana. I guess a Headquarters, Mending. Take another charm, I guess. And black, red, blue. 5 damage to Fairy. Pass the turn. That means we still have a Binding up, pretty sure of it. Makes another token. A Teferi. Play Leyline Binding. Eat the Teferi. Alright, take it. Plays a Castle Vantress. Play Catacombs. Wait, I can't do that. I want to leave a Maestro Charm. So, red, black. Okay, so there. Another Atroxa. Take another Atroxa. Fable. A Binding. Definitely over Fable. And then we'll just take a Glacial Fortress. Actually, we'll take a Triumph. Okay, we'll see what he does on my insta. I'm waiting for him to tap out. Close enough, I guess. 5 damage to the shark. Desperately digging again? Sure. Seems good to me. We have another Atraxa and a Jen. I'm probably going to play Jen on my turn this time because it just prevents his first spell each turn, which is really potent. I don't know if we've milled our forest yet. I don't think so. So we got him. We got that Field of Ruin. We untap Professor Onyx. That's beautiful. Play Jin. Absorbs. Play Savini Triumph tapped. Go to combat. Hit you with the Troxa. Alright, now we're at the same life total. Pass the turn. Makes another token. Field of Ruins there. Tap it. Get a forest. And cycle. Pass the turn. Castle Vantress. Scries. Desperately trying to find an answer to Atraxa. We can Professor Onyx plus we can double Liliana, which is kind of awesome. Passes. Alright, so I think I'm going to start off with a bait. Liliana. Minus. Get Jank and Taxus. Professor Onyx. Stack your best permanent, which is a Zerta. Go to combat. Hit you. Makes another token. Attacks with everything. That probably means a Supreme Verdict. Just trying to kill my Liliana, huh? Makes sense. We have 8 cards in the deck. Supreme Verdict. Play a land. I don't really want to uptick her, do I? Liliana. Memory Deluge. Desperately trying to find a counter. We can cast Atraxa, we just won't find anything. Absorb. Green, blue, black, white. Atraxa. I'll just take a Jin. Are we going to mill ourselves? That would be horrible, wouldn't it? March. For it's a fairy. Puts Atraxa back. Passes. Mending. Atraxa. Take only Atraxa. Binding. Dovin's Veto. Pass the turn. Field of Ruins me, which is fine. Castle Vantress. Teferis. Supreme Verdicts. Atraxa. Again. Absorb. Wow, are we gonna lose? This was a very hard fought match, though. I gotta admit. Play a tap land. Go. Draws a card. Memory Deluge. Passes. We will not discard anything. Jank and Taxus. Come on. And we will play another Fable, the Mirror Breaker. Pass the turn. Hit face. Probably has a thing by now, though. Okay. Takes it. And there's no world where I target Jafari and I win. I'm going to end up losing to decking myself. Which is it's a gnarly way to go out. Upticks to Fairy. One more Wrath I think we scoop. Because there's no way I could win from this point. Soul Partition. Alright, that gets countered. Farewell. Yeah, that's good. And it's awkward. So I think I'm just going to lose. Let's dig and kill myself. Okay, so we lose to, of course, decking ourselves. Okay, wow. What a thing. Thought seizes. Negates. Down, down, and down. Aid. I don't like that. Triumph. Go. Steam Vents tapped. Pass the turn. I just need a forest. This binding will cost 1. Island passes. Wayfinder. I think I go ahead and Fable first. Pass the turn. Passes. We do choose to discard. Probably just that. Play land. Strategic planning. Take Fable. Strategic planning. Take Temple Garden. Smack you? Maybe? Pass the turn. Play the Field of Ruin. Flip. We will play Wayfinder. Go blank. Vetoes. Smack you. Pass the turn. Play the tap farmland. Passes. Strategic planning. Play Tomb tapped. Fable the Mirror Breaker. Make a copy. Attack. He just takes it. Pass the turn. Memory Deluge. That works. Plains. Probably a farewell. Seen that one coming. Yeah. Good. Untap. Strategic planning. Strategic planning. That's a tough one. I think I take Thoughtseize. Strategic planning. Take Aid. Thoughtseize. Take the Fairy. Bastard. Put Zerta in hand. I guess I go for it. I know he has Absorb, but I have an 8 after. Now he probably just let it come back and then Moonlight. That resolves. Blue, white. Mending. That's an awkward position to be in. Aid Binding? Okay. The next one can't be that bad, right? Alright, double land. That's not bad. Aid. Here comes the... Yep. Which is fine. Still get to draw a bunch of cards, right? Zerta. Yeah, this might be slipping away. We're not drawing the right half of the deck. So if I cast this, it's just going to end up getting countered. Well, that was a interesting game one, at least. Dovin's Veto. That's fine. I mean, this is a toss-up of a matchup. I feel like we can win this reasonably well, but sometimes, like I said, we beat it match one, which I think, of course, we kind of rocked it. But this one, we're just not drawing the right pieces for this matchup. We only drew one Thoughtseize. No, we milled our negate, which is weird. And that game one was epic. Seder Wayfinder. We have 20 cards left in the deck. All right, I think we're probably gonna lose again to milling ourselves. So we do a decent job, clearly, of filling our yard up. Because, ooh, that is a clock. That is a clock. Unlicensed Hearst. That's fine. I don't think we have any threats in there. Yeah, we're not in a very good position. Mending. I think I have to keep a win con. I'm not going to win if I don't. Which he has one Absorb, right? Yeah, there it is. I mean, that happens, so... I don't think it's really a net negative to the deck. And I also think if we had the other Fable, this deck probably would be a little bit better against this matchup. Just because we wouldn't have to cut the charms, right? We would have had one more Fable and Mirror Breakers. But now we're getting smacked in the face. I don't think it matters what we draw here. Even if we top deck a Atraxa, that still doesn't do it. Technically 2-2. Let's get into the wrap up. So what did we learn this week about this deck? And overall, the concept was, getting to a legit point. I'm still not exactly sure how I want to adjust it. I kind of maybe want to cut the charms, maybe for cheaper interaction. If maybe is it charm is the direction I want to go. I just want to reduce my curve. Because against Elves, we really had a problem, of course, maintaining their board getting it off. But against control, I think we're pretty reasonable. We have a little bit of controlling pieces. We can convert to, a subpar control deck if we have to. But Professor Onyx maybe should be something else in this list. Something lower on the curve. I don't think it would be like a Liliana. It could be something like Kaido. But Kaido doesn't do really much controlling the board. I kind of want a Planeswalker that can control the board a little bit. Aid felt pretty reasonable. Planning felt solid. I like the fact that, like I said, it's only one blue. So, we could able to get better in Domain. Maybe the Domain card is what I'm missing. I dig 5, look at 2. I guess that's the same as Maestro's Charm, but it's easier to cast. So that could be a possibility. Wayfinder felt great. We also could up our numbers of Atraxa and down 1 Jin. But as you can see, my total was... you can't see it, actually, but my total was 663 ticks. So, this deck is quite expensive. So if you want to pick it up, try it out. And fine-tune it a little bit more. It's definitely worth the consideration. It's definitely, a deck that I know people like is Reanimator. So I'm super excited about trying it further, but I think that's where we're going to leave it today. If you have any suggestions, let me know down in the comments. Until next time, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day.